Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your AEW Fyter Fest review, Night 1 on Wednesday, July 1st, 2020. An awesome show tonight from All Elite Wrestling, in my opinion. Every single match exceeded expectations. We're going to go over every single match that happened tonight at Night 1 Fyter Fest. Details, dissect what happened tonight, and then maybe talk a little bit about Night 2. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not alone tonight. I am with my second guest ever on the Big Fight Field channel. Ladies and gentlemen, he's a great supporter of the Big Fight Field channel, and I would like to welcome to you my good friend, Sammy Khalaf. What's up, Sammy?
How's it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing after tonight?
What an incredible night of action. AEW delivered once again, and they never failed. NXT Great American Bash was good too, but, Wednesday's the best day of the week, so it's a win-win for everyone.
I have not watched NXT Great American Bash yet. I'm actually going to watch after this is uploaded, but I'm looking forward to that. This show was an awesome show tonight. What do you think about Night 1 of Fyter Fest?
Night 1 was a great night of action, and of course you got next week and Fight for the Fallen in 2 weeks, but overall Night 1 was an incredible night of action because every single match that was on the night delivered heavily. So we had Sheeta versus Penelope Ford's best match in AEW by far.
Yes.
We also got Matt Hardy. Well, no, he didn't wrestle. Private Party and Proud and Powerful. And Proud and Powerful had another good match. And I really thought they should have won here. That's kind of a tricky one. And we got the main event of the show was Hangman and Omega versus Best Friends. I think this is Best Friends' best match in AEW by far.
Oh, that match was great, dude. That match was great.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. The opening to the show was it was kind of funny because you just have all the ladies in like the beach theme things everywhere.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. The Tnt Championship match, in my opinion, I think this is Jake Hager's best match in AEW by far, and Cody brought the best out of him tonight, and this is why the Tnt Championship means more than the Universal title. But yeah, and they're actually turning the storyline into a ref angle, and that ain't too bad. Yeah, that ain't too bad.
Yeah, but I think that, but overall, this night was a pretty good night of wrestling, and I'm definitely looking forward to Night 2 next week, and it's an even more loaded card than this week.
We will get to that. We will get to Night 2 after we go over Night 1, by the way.
Yeah.
Alright, so before we start talking about Night 1 of Fyter Fest, if you guys missed my preview and predictions for Fyter Fest, make sure you guys go check that out on the Big Fight Field channel. Over 34 minutes of great content, me talking about Fyter Fest. There's still a part 2, so if you guys missed my predictions, you still have time before next week's Fyter Fest. And I have a big announcement to make at the end of this video for next week's Fyter Fest review and who my guest is going to be on that show. But are you ready to review Night 1 of Fyter Fest, Sammy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alright, this show started off with Jurassic Express, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy versus MJF and Wardlow. And MJF cut a really damn good promo here, like he always does. And he even brought up, why is this match happening between himself and Wardlow versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy? He said because we're in a ratings war right now, and you need the fastest rising star of professional wrestling today, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. What do you think of the jab that MJF took to the ratings war against NXT?
I like the jab he took, and I thought it was kind of funny because you're breaking the fourth wall there, like CM Punk did in his pipe bomb.
Yes.
But I noticed how they took a lot of shots at NXT and WWE in general tonight. I know Cody's shirt, which resembled Great American Bash from 1980. I think it was 86 or probably 85. 84.
I think it was
sure,
86.
And they also did the Taz promo in which Taz called out WWE on not handling the pandemic properly.
What did he say exactly? Didn't he call it like a sloppy shop or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's what he said. But it was still pretty good though. And they had and if you didn't notice, they pushed back Cage and Moxley since Moxley is currently in quarantine because he didn't contract the virus, but
his wife has the virus.
Later tested positive. But anyway, they did bring back Fight for the Fallen, and I think that's going to be another really good show too.
Yes.
So, positive things all around for the jabs that they took in WWE tonight, and they're pretty accurate too, because WWE brought this on themselves in the ratings war because, AEW came at the right moment and they moved NXT to counter-program AEW, and they didn't even handle this pandemic correctly. Meanwhile, AEW's been doing all they can, so kudos to them.
Yeah, they're taking it the right way with the pandemic, no doubt. But this opening match, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy versus MJF and Wardlow, talk about chaotic, talk about insane, like edge of the seat action. This was my favorite match of the night. There is a reason why this match started off the show, because this match was awesome, man. This was an awesome tag team match. At the end, Luchasaurus freaking flew over the top rope. He almost landed on the apron. That looked very scary. Jungle Boy hit a very nice Canadian Destroyer on the MJF. They all four of them kicked up at the same time, and then at the end, MJF was going to punch Luchasaurus with the diamond ring. He ducked. He almost punched Wardlow, and they teased the breakup here with MJF saying, you can't do anything right. So then Jungle Boy took out MJF. Luchasaurus hit a chokeslam on Wardlow, and Jurassic Express defeated MJF and Wardlow in a awesome tag team match. Thoughts on this match?
This tag team match was, this was definitely match of the night in my opinion too, because like the athleticism of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, I mean they never fail to disappoint really, and Marco Stunt plays a role in every single match, and he doesn't disappoint either. But I got to give the biggest props to Wardlow in this match because he definitely impressed me a lot. And I do think in the next 5 years he'll be one of AEW's biggest stars next to the likes of Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and all those other guys. And MJF too. I liked his promo at the beginning of the match, and I liked his performance in this match too. And MJF is not he's not the heel that can't wrestle. He actually can wrestle, and he's definitely one of the best heels today, next to Randy Orton. Like, those are the top two heels today, Randy Orton and MJF, in my opinion.
For sure. You said something. You said Wardlow was most impressive at this match. I thought Luchasaurus had a damn good match here. Luchasaurus has been very, very underwhelming since the pandemic started. He is one of those wrestlers that thrives with the audience. He has not done good since the pandemic started, in my opinion. This was by far Luchasaurus' best match, maybe in AEW, in my opinion. What do you think?
This is definitely one of his best performances, like, in AEW. Like, if we're counting, like, his time in Impact and Ring of Honor, all those promotions, I do think this is one of his best matches in his career. I think he's done a lot for AEW by far, and I really think the Jurassic Express gimmick has been a success. But you do know that instead of Marco Stunt, they were going to do Allie as Jungle Girl. That was the original plan for her before they made her the bunny, actually. But no, Luchasaurus has been, he's been very consistent throughout his time in AEW. But yes, the pandemic did slow him down, but that didn't stop him from entertaining the fans every single week. And this week was no different than the previous weeks. And I do think that Luchasaurus is probably one of the best big men in wrestling today. Like, you got guys like Wardlow and guys like Jeff Cobb and even guys like Keith Lee, Dominic Dijakovic, all those guys. Luchasaurus he's he has to be in the top 5 next to all those guys. Those would be pretty good matches too. I do want to see, I really want to see Luchasaurus go up against Jeff Cobb someday. Actually, if he ever returns to AEW, that could be one match that everyone could really look forward to.
I would love to see that. That would be great. I would love to see a Luchasaurus versus Brian Cage match as well, but we got to move on from that match. We're going to go to Penelope Ford versus Hikaru Shida for the Women's Championship, and this match was very good. This was a very good match. It was one of my least favorite matches on the show, but it was a damn good match. That's how you know this show was awesome tonight. This was by far Penelope Ford's best performance in AEW. Shida had a really good defense here. A little sloppy stuff in the end, like where Penelope Ford was going to get the championship, and Kip Sabian came in, and Shida hit the kendo stick, and Ford did her springboard into a stunner, and Shida had to get to the right spot. I didn't really like that spot that much, but besides that, I really did like this match. I enjoyed it. Hikaru Shida retained the Women's Championship as she should have. What do you think of Penelope Ford versus Hikaru Shida, man? Because I thought this was a very good match.
As you know, I'm a pretty huge fan of Penelope Ford. I've followed her from time to time throughout the Indies and her time at Ring of Honor it was even during her time throughout the Indies when she was with Joey Janela. I think she's a fantastic performer, and this was a pretty good pickup by AEW when they first signed her. And this is definitely one of the best matches in Penelope Ford's career by far, and I really do see Penelope Ford holding that women's title in about a year or two. And I do think she has potential to be one of the biggest stars in the division in the next coming months. I gotta give props to Hikaru Shida in this match too, because she was fantastic as always. And I like the spot they did with Kip Sabian and the kendo stick, and then where Kip oversold that spot. I thought that was funny.
That was okay. Not the best, but I mean,
it's something you see from time to time. It's not always funny, but this is an exception here. But what's the spot I really liked in this match? When Shida came off the top rope and she bended into that spider walk like Bray Wyatt does.
Yes.
I really liked that. And then she came off with a stunner, and then there was a near fall right there. So many near falls in this match, and you thought Ford was going to win the title, but in the end, Shida retains the belt. But it was a very good match here. And, in about a year, when the division's stacked and loaded, people aren't going to talk crap about AEW's women's division anymore, because I can tell you right now, that division's going to be one of the best in wrestling in the next year or two.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were watching this review with me and Sammy tonight, and you were still criticizing the AEW women's division, bro, just go watch Penelope Ford versus Hikaru Shida. This was a very good match, and I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen with the AEW women's division in the future, and so is Sammy. Moving on, TNT Championship. We had Jake Hager coming out with his wife, Catalina, I think her name is. Jake Hager has Jake Hager. I don't mean to be a simp here, but Jake Hager has a gorgeous wife. I'm just saying that right now. So, Jake Hager and with his wife versus Cody and Arn Anderson for the TNT Championship. This was a slow-paced match. It picked up at the end. Very good stuff. Jake Hager was by far, this is his best match in AEW. A good story-told match. Jake Hager going after Arn Anderson, choking him out, and giving the suplex to Cody on the outside, and Hager hitting a couple Hager bombs and a couple gut wedges. Cody, man, was flying around like a cruiserweight tonight. He was on fire in his performance against Jake Hager. What did you think about Cody's performance tonight?
Like I said before, I do think this is Jake Hager's best match in AEW, and Cody did carry him to a good match. But the thing I kind of like. I do think that the fact that Jake Hager, I don't think he's improved or anything, since coming to AEW. I think he's the exact same like he was in WWE. But, he's at least showing a little bit more more character in AEW, and I think he's getting the chance to, be himself and all that. But I do think we're going to see another match between Hager and Cody based on the finish tonight, and they're also doing that ref angle, so I can definitely see them, maybe next week they're going to announce that Hager's been suspended for punching the ref or something. I think that's what they're going to do. And, the TNT title has been really good since it debuted, and
Absolutely.
The fact that the TNT title it just feels more important, and it kind of feels like an honor to win it, other than any WWE title. And I would even say that it feels more important than the Universal title, because let's be honest, the Universal title is a trash championship. It's not taken seriously at all. Meanwhile, the TNT Championship is. Matter of fact, every championship in AEW's been taken seriously. But yeah, just nothing but positive things to say about this match. This is another really good match. I think that, I think eventually, Darby Allin's going to take that belt off of Cody. I think Cody's going to hold it for a little while, maybe up until maybe All Out or Full Gear. I'm not sure. But either way, I do see Darby taking it off him. I don't see, maybe Darby could turn heel, or maybe he could still be a face. I'm not sure if Cody's going to be turning heel soon, but anyway, I would just have that slow burn to it. I mean, you've noticed the Four Horsemen teases. Do you know?
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I do think Cody is kind of teasing a heel turn, maybe going into 2021. I'm not sure, but that's to talk about for another date. At the end here, it looks like Cody reversed a gut wrench from Hager, and this is where we thought that Hager won the match. At least Hager thought he won the match. But then Cody won the match, and they did the ref angle with Hager taking out the ref. So I do agree with you that I do think that we are going to get another match between Cody and Jake Hager, and after what we saw tonight, I would not mind that whatsoever. And I think Jake Hager shut up the critics tonight, man, from that terrible match with Jon Moxley in April. He shut up the critics. This match in Cody, this was a really good TNT Championship match.
Yeah, I do think we're going to see more of Cody and Hager in the next coming weeks. Maybe they're going to do another match maybe the week after Fight for the Fallen, I'm guessing. Because, like I said, they could be doing something where Hager gets suspended or something. And, they want to do the sports field presentation, so I could definitely see them doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we get to our next match, which is Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party, we have to mention that Chris Jericho was on commentary tonight with JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur. And Chris Jericho was on fire tonight at his commentary. What did you think of Chris Jericho's commentary? Because he's always awesome when he's on commentary.
Yeah, I think Jericho's always phenomenal on commentary whenever he comes on. And, eventually when he retires from in-ring competition, which could be, I don't know, I don't think he has much time left, he could definitely make that transition to a commentary role, because I know that he's not going to be leaving the business once he retires. So I think that's a good fit for him after he retires.
Yeah. Did you do the hashtag, the Fyter Nightmares, tonight on Twitter?
Yeah, that was actually trending in the top 3. They had AEW Dynamite, Fyter Fest, and Fyter Nightmare. That was the top 3 tonight.
Yes. Yeah, I did it twice, actually. And
yeah,
that's interesting. I'm glad that AEW does stuff like this. It's very fun. So that was that. Santana and Ortiz versus Private Party. This was a great tag team match. Great stuff. Private Party, in my opinion, are the most underrated tag team, not just in AEW, but in the world. They are so good at what they do. They have improved so much since last year's Fyter Fest. And I remember for last year's Fyter Fest, we had that Darby Allin-Cody match. And I was more impressed by Private Party than I was Darby Allin. And I actually shocked myself when I was saying that, because Darby and Cody was probably the most talked about match going out of last year's Fyter Fest. But this was a very good match here. Not really sure, I wasn't paying attention that much, because I was also watching the Roderick Strong Dexter Loomis strap match. But at the end, Private Party hit Jitter Juice to Santana. Ortiz couldn't break up the pinfall. Private Party got the victory. And then it was announced that next week we would be getting Private Party going up against the winner of Best Friends versus Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. Thoughts on this tag team match?
This is another really good tag team match. I like this match the same way I did with MJF and Wardlow against Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. But, Proud and Powerful are a really underrated tag team as well. I thought their work as LAX and TNA was really good. When they teamed with Conan, they put on some phenomenal matches there, and I do want to see them go up against the Lucha Brothers sometime in the future, like they did in Impact a couple times. And I really think that they should maybe they should start putting Santana and Ortiz as a tag team competing in matches more on Dynamite, and I think they're a really special team, and if you've seen their work in TNA, they could really do something special for that division.
They are a great tag team in AEW. A lot of people criticize, saying Santana and Ortiz don't feel the same. They're not having that good of a career. They're not having a good career in AEW. I don't know what these people are talking about, but they're in the top faction of AEW. So how can you be having a bad career?
Yeah. I also liked, Private Party in this match were good too. And, I do like the hybrid Matt Hardy's doing as Broken Matt Hardy and Multifarious Matt Hardy, however you pronounce that. You also got, the Broken Brilliance Matt Hardy. I think I mentioned that. Yeah, I think I mentioned that before. But anyway, I think it's pretty good because, if you, overdo the broken stuff, it could get boring real quick. And I liked how Matt Hardy compromised that with the hybrid here. And I think it just keeps the flow going with what he's doing. And I do know that I think he's having a good career in AEW so far. And this team with Private Party's been fun. That's what
he's there to do in AEW. He's there to put over young talent. So I'm loving this duo with Matt Hardy and Private Party, and it's got them to a tag team title match next week on Fyter Fest. Now, before we talk about the main event, we had Taz and Brian Cage come out because it was announced for Fight for the Fallen on July 15th that we'd be getting Jon Moxley versus Brian Cage for the World Championship. It was supposed to happen next week, but due to COVID-19 and Moxley's wife getting COVID, that match got pushed back, and Taz took a shot at WWE, calling them a sloppy shot for COVID, and backstage politics for Moxley got him to postpone the match up until Fight for the Fallen, and Brian Cage is Jon Moxley's fear. Thoughts on this promo from Taz?
Since Taz came to AEW and started managing Brian Cage, I think this pairing has been phenomenal. Taz has been cutting some good promos for Brian Cage, and I think Taz, Brian Cage reminds me of the impact Taz made when he came back from his neck injury in ECW in 1995, destroying everybody in his path, and that's what they're doing with Brian Cage here, and he's having Taz as his mouthpiece. And I really like this pairing, actually, and I like the promo in general because, Taz did call out WWE and what they're doing with the pandemic. They've been handling it horribly, in my opinion.
Oh, horribly.
And, I do like the promos Taz has been doing, and I think I think he's a great mouthpiece. And Taz did say a while back he would have liked to manage Brian Cage or Jeff Cobb if Jeff Cobb were to come to AEW full time, but he went with Cage, and it's still a pretty good pairing either way because Brian Cage is a machine. He's one of the best big men in wrestling today. The guy is jacked, and he can literally do it all in the ring. And I'm definitely looking forward to his match with Moxley in 2 weeks. The thing I wonder is that I think Darby Allin's going to make his return here, and I do think that, Cage is not going to lose clean, but he's going to lose because of Darby, and therefore we're going to get Darby and Cage at All Out.
That seems to be the direction they're going. I'm actually calling the same thing, that we're going to get Darby costing Brian Cage the World Championship, and if Cage loses to Moxley, which he probably will, Who do you see challenging Moxley for the World Championship next?
I think that's a pretty tough decision because I don't see them turning Kenny Omega heel anytime soon. I do think they're going to go to All Out as tag team champions, and they're probably going to face FTR at the event, and they're going to lose the belts. I do think maybe they could do Moxley and MJF for All Out because I think that was the original plan for Double or Nothing, if not for the virus. So maybe they could start the feud like maybe after Moxley's done with Cage. MJF can come out a couple times and say, I'm the best in AEW and I deserve Moxley. So they could do Moxley and MJF at All Out. I think that's what they're going to do.
Probably that could be the direction. But I've mentioned it a couple times on Twitter. If you're going to do MJF, if you're going to have MJF win the World Championship, it needs to be in front of a full audience. So I would prefer that to happen maybe in 2021. But more than likely, if they have nobody for Moxley, it could happen at All Out. But the main event of Fyter Fest tonight, let's talk about it. We had the Best Friends versus Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page for the AEW Tag Team Championships. The Best Friends were driven out by Trent's mom, Sue. And I actually got a good laugh at this. Didn't you?
Yeah, I did too. She was driving them to ringside, and I actually saw Zack Ryder's tweet, and he said Sue in all caps with an exclamation point.
Yeah.
That's when you can tell he's been watching. He's like, I do like Trent. I think he's really underrated, and if you saw his match with Pac on Dynamite like a couple months ago, you would know what he's all about as a singles guy, and I think he had a strong showing in this match too, and he had Kenny Omega with all those spots on his head, and I even cringed at the one pump handle thing, and then he hit him splat in his head.
Yeah.
And I also like the way he sold for Hangman Page and the buckshot lariat in the end, and I thought he really stood out to me the most.
Yeah, this tag team match started, I believe, 9:42 my time, 8:42 your time. These teams delivered. They went above expectations, in my opinion. I thought this was an awesome tag team match. It was not better than Jurassic Express versus MJF and Wardlow, but this was a great tag team match. The one beautiful spot was when Chuck Taylor did the over-the-head suplex to Kenny Omega on the outside onto Adam Hangman Page. Dude, that looked great, man. That looked like a great spot.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, and then after that, Omega doing his stuff, V-triggers, One-Winged Angel, Hangman Page got the last few minutes in. He did really good in this match. Yeah, like you said in the beginning, Trent stood out the most in this match, in my opinion. At the end, Adam Hangman Page hit buckshot lariat to Trent, and Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page retained the AEW World Tag Team Champions. Your thoughts on Omega and Page retaining the tag team titles over the Best Friends, and what did you think of the match?
I thought the match was really good, and I'm definitely looking forward to Hangman and Omega against Private Party next week. I think that's going to be a really good match. Best Friends are another underrated tag team, and I do see them winning the titles eventually, maybe in a year or two. So they could be built up as like the underdog tag team in the division, and they'll eventually win the belts. I don't see them maybe in a year they will. And I do think that Hangman and Omega's, their ring has been. It's been pretty good so far, and the pandemic kind of slowed things down because Hangman didn't appear for several weeks, and Omega did most of the stuff. But they have a lot of chemistry together as a team, and they're over with the audience, and Hangman Page, everyone loves Hangman Page. But
oh my God, yeah.
But this is a pretty good main event to the show, and tag team wrestling lives in AEW, and they are proving that tag team wrestling can draw, and the tag team wrestling has like some of the best wrestlers in the world, and just the building power of that division. It's the most in-depth and most diverse tag team division in the world today. I think it's the best tag team division in the world today. But I think it's too early to compare it to 1990s All Japan Pro Wrestling's tag team division, because back then in the 90s you had Misawa and Kobashi, the Holy Demon Army with Toshiaki Kawada and Akira Taui. You also got that team of Jumbo Tsuruta and Genichiro Tenryu. But all those tag teams. But, maybe in a couple years we could put that into consideration. But as of now, AEW has the best tag team division in the world, and this match proved why.
This was a great match. This was an all-out great night of tag team wrestling. This was a awesome show. Night 1 of Fyter Fest was great. Awesome show, in my opinion. Night 2 of Fyter Fest. Let's do a little preview. I already did my predictions for it. But let's get to you really quickly. We'll run through this for about 2 minutes. 6-minute tag, SCU versus the Dark Order. Who do you got?
I think the Dark Order are going to take this one. I think they're going to continue the story between Cabana and Brody Lee, and I think they're going to give Colt Cabana another win here. So that's the direction I see them going in. Yep,
I got to agree with you there. Joey Janela versus Lance Archer. My opinion, this should be no disqualification, or it should have some stipulation. But I find this match to be quite boring if it's not a stipulation. But Lance Archer's obviously going to win this, right?
I think they have to build up Lance Archer after that loss to Cody at Double or Nothing. Just build him up as that Murderhawk monster again. So I think a dominating win over Joey Janela here would do the trick, and they could just have Jake Roberts cut more promos, and you can have Lance destroying guys in the back every single week. I mean, guys from AEW Dark or something like that. Just whatever it takes to rebuild him, I think that's what they should do.
Yep. What else we got? We got Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page defending the tag team titles against Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy of Private Party. This match was announced tonight, actually. And I'm going with Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page to retain again. And this will be their, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 17. They've retained the tag team titles over. So I'm going with Omega and Page.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good match. And I think this might be Private Party's best match to date. But I still got Hangman and Omega retaining the belts here. And they're going to continue that slow build with FTR, the Young Bucks, and all those other teams. So that what you saw tonight in the main event, that could happen next week, like deja vu, all over again. So I'm going with Hangman and Omega.
Yeah. 8-man tag. We got the Young Bucks and FTR versus the Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers. This is the match I'm looking forward to the most next week. This is going to be outstanding, in my opinion.
Is that the main event of night 2, since it's not Moxley and Cage?
I would have to guess it's Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho, right? Because that's actually had a great build.
It's the main event next week is either Cassidy and Jericho, or it's the 8-man tag team match. But anyway, the prediction for this match, I'm going with Butcher and the Blade and the Lucha Brothers here, because I do think FTR are going to walk out with the Young Bucks midway through the match, and then the Young Bucks will attempt to carry the match themselves, but it'll be too much for them, so the bad guys are going to take this one.
Wow.
And besides, if Pentagon is going to be back in AEW full-time, they could really use the win here just to rebuild the Lucha Brothers a little bit until Pac comes back, which, I don't know, I don't think any of the Joshi wrestlers or the people in the UK might not be back until maybe 2021, I'm not sure, but they could still rebuild the Lucha Brothers here. Pentagon's going to be in Florida for the next couple weeks.
Wow. So I'm going with the Young Bucks and FTR. He's going with the Lucha Brothers, the Butcher and the Blade. And then what I think is going to be the main event next week, Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. I'm going to go with Jericho. I want to pick Orange Cassidy, but I'm going to go with Jericho.
Yeah, I got to go with Jericho here. But, if you saw Cassidy's match with Pac at Revolution, I think he'll put out that same performance. He'll come so close to winning, but it'll be too much as Jericho's going to take this one. So I think Jericho's going to, Jericho needs the win here. And, I don't know what's next for Jericho after this, but hopefully there will be something for him.
Yeah, probably Mike Tyson. But that is your preview for me and Sammy Khalaf for Night 2 of Fyter Fest. And that was our Fyter Fest Night 1 review. Before we get out of here, I want to make a big announcement about next week's Fyter Fest Night 2. I'm going to be joined by a new guest for next week. I'm going to be joined by Wesley Williams. Yes, at Big West 18. He will be on here next week for Night 2 of Fyter Fest review. Me and him are going to be doing the same thing that me and Sammy did tonight. So hopefully Fyter Fest Night 2 is going to be a damn good show, just like tonight was. But thank you guys for watching this Fyter Fest review. If you have not already, subscribe right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Let's get up to 150 subs, maybe by mid-July, hopefully. I would really appreciate that. 150 before mid-July. Comment down below what you thought of tonight's Fyter Fest. Like this video if you enjoyed our review tonight. And then follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph and Instagram as well at Conlon_Joseph. Sammy, where can they find you on Twitter?
You can find me on Twitter at Khalaf Sammy. That is Khalaf and then Sammy. But if you also want to know my username in general, it's Samster203. That's what everyone calls me. But yeah, that's where you can find me there.
Any last minute words before we get out of here?
Yeah, shout out to Wesley Williams, one of my bros on Twitter, for appearing on the show next week, and hopefully that's going to be a good one.
Yep, I want to thank you for joining me tonight for Fyter Fest Night 1 review. Awesome show. It was a fun review, man.
Yeah, it was great.
And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Great American Bash review right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Have a good night. Stay safe.